Hi, crafty friends. Crystal here again today. I'm going to do something a little bit new. I'm going to just do a craft with me. And it'll be based on my previous I think I called it like my favorite 6x6 paper flip book or something like that. I'll link it below. So I'm just going to like do the crafting and like not really explain the crafting and then talk about a book that I just read. So first things first, I'm using this Minte Papers Next Trip 6x6 paper pad. And then this was one of the coordinating or like one of the 12x12 sheets of paper that was the cut aparts. I like having this bigger like size. So I bought just the one 12x12 sheet and cut that up. So I'll just use these, you know, to tuck into pockets and whatnot. So anyways, yeah, I've picked out a few papers here. So yeah, I had a comment on a previous video that was, I think I'm gonna use this as the cover because that's my favorite. It's so cute. So I had a comment on a previous video that said, like they would love to hear like a book review from me. And I'm not quite sure where that comment kind of came from. I think maybe because I'm subscribed to a few book YouTubers. So it was like, I don't know, like maybe there was some kind of connection there. But anyways, yeah, I do love to read. I have been the year of 2020. I like, oh my God, I like literally haven't read. It's just been a time, but yeah, normally I read a lot. I just kind of was taking a break because I was real slammed in 2021 and I just took a reading break, but now I'm kind of like getting back in the groove. So let me know what you guys think of this type of video. You know, this is my first one, first time doing it, obviously. So, you know, maybe I won't like it. Maybe I won't do it again, but we shall see. Anyways, okay. So, the book that I'm going to talk about is Small Favors by Erin A. Is it Erin? Yeah, Erin A. Craig. It is, oh, so I don't have the physical book to show you guys because I actually borrowed the audiobook from Libby. That is something else that I'll go ahead and link below. Libby's just an online library, which I think it's probably just for the United States folks. But it's just like borrowing from the public library. Super awesome, free. And yeah, man, like sometimes you have to wait. Sometimes you have to put your books on hold. So, you know, you might not be able to read it immediately or listen to it immediately. You might have to wait a couple of weeks for it to come available. But you know, eventually you'll be able to get that audiobook. I mean, they don't have everything, obviously, but they have a lot of the new releases and stuff. So anyways, I'll go ahead and link that. But yeah, so Small Favors. It is I think it is young adult, but it didn't, yeah, it's totally young adult, but it didn't read childish or anything. And I would say it's fantasy, maybe a little bit of that horror genre, which I gotta say is not actually a genre I particularly enjoy. And I did like this book, I'll say that. So it's kind of the horror genre, but it's, like I said, it's young adult, so it's not like adult horror, which is not something I would really read. That's not, I'm kind of a little scaredy. I'm a little bitch, okay? I'm kind of a little scaredy cat. So, it was a horror, I guess, but not like anything truly horrifying, if you catch my drift. Oh my God, this piece of paper is so pretty. I have to decide like what I want to do with it. What do I want to do? I think I'm gonna set it right here. Okay, so did I say that I have a Goodreads account that I will also link below if you are interested? That's where I keep track of what I'm reading, and I do like to follow. I have some pen pals that I follow on there as well. Anyways, so Small Favors. I will start out by saying I liked it. I didn't love it. I really wanted to love it, and I would say like I almost loved it. I really enjoyed reading it. I really enjoyed the story, but it fell flat in a couple of places. I would still recommend it for people who enjoy that kind of fantasy genre. And also, so it's kind of, if you know things about like how the fae or fairy world works, like kind of the rules of that type of society, it kind of follows those types of rules a little bit where like names are really important. Like knowing someone's name means that you have power, like their true name, you know what I mean? And also hence the small favors. So basically it's that, you know, these people roll into town and it's all secretive and whatnot. But, and it starts out by they'll do a small favor for you, but then you have to do a small favor for them in return. And then it eventually like seeps into this big chaotic mess. Anyways, and so the book is centered around our main character, who is a teenager, hence the young adult. And she has a lovely family. What year would we say this takes place in? Like sometime, you know, like 100 years ago kind of a thing, you know, like a small farming community in the rural mountains kind of a thing. I don't think there was actually like a date ever given, but I would say like not modern times. Anyways, yeah. So, oh my God, that's crooked. Our lovely main character, she has a brother who is her twin, and she also has 2 younger sisters, and she has a mother and father who are lovely, you know, kind of by all accounts, she has this lovely life. And then, this would be a bit of a spoiler, but again, it happens like right in the beginning of the book. So I'll go ahead and tell you, I will give you some warnings if there's like a true spoiler. So there's an accident with I guess I'll be very vague. There's an accident with one of her parents and they have to leave because like I said, they live in a rural town. And she has to leave to get medical care. And so basically the whole entire book takes place, like her parents have already left and kind of she has this big responsibility to like kind of like take care of the house and whatnot. And then also her father is a beekeeper. So that's like that's their trade. They live in a place called Amity Falls or something like that. And so that's what they do. They're beekeepers. And this might be a little bit of a spoiler. But this is like part of my review is that I was really disappointed about the bee thing because it seems like it should make a bigger or like be a bigger significance than it was in the book. Because it seems like when, you know, in the first part of the book and throughout the book, like the bee thing is really important and it seems to be emphasized a lot. And let me back up just a little bit. So the town, like I said, it's very rural and it's kind of like not just rural, but rural and like difficult to get to, like over a mountain pass, but isolated. That's the word I'm looking for. It's rural and also isolated. And for the town to like survive, they have kind of like rules for their society. And I mean, they're all, you know, so that you live, you know, symbiotically and whatnot. And that they make it through the winter because, you know, when it is winter, they can't get out of their little valley that they live in. So it's kind of that, I hope you can kind of feel the setup is like, you know, this small isolated town and it kind of, you know, everything's going to go to hell in a handbasket basically. Which I feel like is not that much of a spoiler. Like, of course that was what was going to happen. I'm just going to pick another piece of paper here. So yeah. And where was I going with that? I don't remember. Anyways, her parents have to leave the falls. Literally, I lost my train of thought. What was I even talking about? Let's just look at this pretty floral paper. Love it. I think I'm going to put a pocket here, which is going to cover that up, but whatever. They live in this isolated place. I quite literally do not remember what I was fucking talking about. Oh, the bees, right. So the bee connection is kind of like a symbolism thing of like, for the good of the hive, which like the hive would be synonymous with the town. And so I get that like bit of symbolism. I was griping about why I didn't like the bees or why I think it was underutilized. It wasn't like really all that the bees added to the story was the symbolism. And I was really disappointed by that. I don't know. I thought they were going to somehow be more significant than they actually were, and they weren't. And that's my big critique of the book is that this bad boy was almost 500 pages. I think it was like 480, 490, something like that. So, you know, it's not a freaking tome, but it's certainly not a one-day read or anything. And I feel like the same exact story could have been told in like half the pages. even though I enjoyed reading those pages, like it was a good read, really what it is that there were like things that, I don't know, that happened throughout these 500 pages that I thought would pop up later or like have more significance later, and then they just didn't. Like it felt like the author was setting up, like little tidbits, little Easter eggs that would then kind of tie together in some like really cool and like epic way in the end, and they just didn't. So like it wasn't bad, it just wasn't great, and it wasn't as great. Like I wanted more from it because really I liked the story. I think that's why I'm so disappointed, is that I really did enjoy the read and I liked the story. It just was like, wow, dang it. It needed like a little more. And really the other big critique that goes along with that is that the ending was incredibly rushed. I swear it, and don't quote me, but it seems like the conclusion happened in like 2 chapters at the end of the book. And I even, I was listening to the audiobook, but it was, I was kind of getting towards the end and I was like, what the heck? There's still so much that needs to be tied up. And like, how is she going to do it in all these pages? And she didn't, is what happened. And really, there wasn't much resolution in the end. Like there was some, but kind of it felt like, and now I've checked, but it felt like there's going to be a follow-up book, which really irritates me. Not that I don't like a series, I just like to know before I start something if it's going to be a series. And like typically these days we do know, it's posted on there that like this is book 1 of a series, and this was not written as a series. And like I said, the story really did finish itself, but I don't know. It kind of is set up because the book ends with, the book kind of ends at a new beginning, if you will, which to me is kind of like, dang, are she planning on writing another one? Which would be okay, but irritates the hell out of me because that's not what I was expecting. You know what I mean? Like I read this and expected it to be a standalone, and if they wrote another one later, whatever. I think I'm gonna put this one up here. Yeah. Anyways, so those are my gripes, is that the conclusion was just so rushed, and I wanted more. I wanted more conclusion and just some more of those loose ends tied up. And yeah, like some of the stuff with the townspeople where it was just like, wait, what? That's how you decided to like close that storyline? And really disappointed also about the way they closed the storyline with her brother. I told you she has a twin brother. It was wrapped up kind of like way too quick and just like not with the, I don't know, significance that it should have had. And same with a wrap up of another, oh my God, kind of like the main wrap up. It was like, what? Like that was it? I don't know. I wanted more, and more kind of epicness, shall we say. I like a good epic story being told, and yeah, I wanted it to all come together and like blow my mind. It just didn't. Still a really great book. I would still recommend it, but I think I would recommend it more to people. I think I'm just going to stop here with what I'm doing because I'm just yabbering and not really crafting it at this point. I would recommend the book more for people that enjoy character work in their books, which is not me, actually. I much prefer a plot-driven story. And this story, it did have plot, but like I said, you heard what I said. It did have plot, but I think it also had a lot of character work. And so maybe if you like that character work and that's what's important to you, you probably won't be disappointed the way I was disappointed. Yeah, I mean, if you like plot work and that's really what you enjoy, like it had a lot of plot. It really did. The plot wasn't as masterfully executed as I was hoping for. But if that doesn't bother you, I would definitely recommend it. Anyways, yeah, like I said, it was a good read. It was really interesting, kind of definitely really like creepy. And I have read the other book by this author, Erin A. Craig, The House of Salt and Sorrow, I think. And it is also a book that I gave 4 stars and I enjoyed it and I would recommend it. And it's creepy. Like, I think that's kind of her thing. She writes kind of like creepy, kind of the fantasy horror type of genre, but not like over the top because it's still young adult. So if that sounds like your kind of thing, I would recommend it. Just, you know, with those couple of caveats, like don't expect an actual like epic fantasy. It won't deliver on that, but it was a great story. If you guys have any questions, you let me know. And I love this paper collection. It's an older one. You probably can still get it at places, but yeah, the Minte papers are generally really pretty. In fact, they just came out with some new ones that I'm pretty excited about. I might just leave this because this is so dang pretty. I think I might just leave it like this. Or, you know what, a belly band would be really pretty there as well. I might cut myself a piece later. But anyways, all right, I hope you guys enjoyed. Bye. Whoops, I flicked that out. Bye.